Setup. So Andrea, welcome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you today. So I wanted to welcome Andrea Tagliaferro. She's a friend of mine for a while now, since last year. So let me tell you quickly how I met Andrea. I was at the Palm Beach Boat Show, which actually was
Yes.
1 year ago. And my friend Paul told me, you got to meet Andrea. She's very good on social media. Her name is Yacht Dame. Have you heard of it? And I've heard a couple times, or I've seen briefly on social media a couple of times, the name Yacht Dame. So I met her. She was super nice. We chatted. And then after that, I started to looking at what she was doing online, and I was super impressed. So that's where we started our friendship. I realized she was connected to all the biggest influencer in the boating industry, and we started working together. We have been working together for a few months. It's been a real pleasure to work with you, Andrea. So welcome, Andrea. Very nice to have you today. So I'm going to start by asking you, thanks. I'm going to start by asking you a quick question. Can you introduce yourself? How did you end up in the boating industry? How did you end up working in social media? If you can give our audience a quick introduction, that'd be great.
I'm going to make the long story short. Hi, everybody. I'm Andrea Tagliaferro, as Vincent said. I've been in the yachting industry since 2014. I started as that person that introduced you to a yacht with a catalog. From there, I had my architectural degree, moved from there to actually building yachts. I built a yacht in Fort Lauderdale at the Director Shipyard. For 4 years, I was part of the design team. And then after that, one thing led to another one. I left Florida, and I was already super interested in media and recording or documenting my travels. So I started a travel account. And then when I decided, no, I still want to be in yachting, I started showing people in yachting what I was able to do. And I created Yacht Dame, which mainly just promotes women in the industry, giving them a spotlight, but still gives people news. So I could still show you what other shipyards were doing, whether the yacht shows happening and stuff like that. So you had like a little bit of insight of what was happening. And through that, I could show people like Vincent, this is how you can create a story and tell everybody your journey from like the day that I'm getting to the show. What am I telling to the people at the show? So little tricks that I would pick up from other industries. So I was integrating them into yachting. And yeah, that's how I met Vincent.
Excellent. So first, because I want everybody to follow you because you have so much great content. So where do we follow you? Give us your social media.
So you can follow me on pretty much all the channels, but where I'm most active for sure is on Instagram, and it's Yacht Dame, Dame. And that's pretty much it. There is also a YouTube, which now with isolation, I've been uploading and trying to upload all the videos I've been collecting that I haven't edited before to YouTube. So I'm trying to ramp that up. But yeah, mainly if you DM me, I'll be there in a second. So there's also a website. It's also www.yachtdame.com.
Excellent. Easy. So you just mentioned isolation, and one thing I wanna mention is that you live in New York. You are in New York right now, and we know how difficult the situation is in New York right now. Can you give us a little summary of what's going on in New York and how you're dealing with the situation in New York right now?
So I was actually pretty lucky in a sense that my building was affected because we had a case. So we were evacuated 2 weeks ago. Lucky because I never got sick from that case, but it meant that we were isolated way before people in New York were being isolated. So from that, I've been very calm. If you are someone who, like Vincent, is an entrepreneur and works on his own, we're used to to get power within to get us into work inside our home. So I've been working from home so many years, so this is not so bad for me. In regards to New York, everything's shut down. It took us a while to shut down because the United States was not really doing testing as they should have been. So on media, you would see, oh, we don't have that enough cases, but if you're not testing, how do you know how many cases you have? So now that people are testing, now USA is number one, the most cases in the world. We have surpassed China like that. When 2 weeks ago, people were saying, oh no, that's over there, that's in Europe. Then when they actually started testing, we had surpassed the 80,000 cases that were going on. It's a little surreal because when you actually are isolated, the chaos you see in the media and the hospitals and all that, you don't see it because the moment you do your walk around the block to get some fresh air, nobody's really out there. So it's not a chaotic feeling. It's actually quite calm and eerie. I go out maybe 3 times a week around my neighborhood, get some fresh air. Today was nice. You keep your distance, and that's it. Sadly, I don't think we'll ever be like Europe or Asia, that they had a true lockdown. Fees like in I know in France and Spain and in Italy, you get fined if they catch you outside of their restrictions, that you can't roam more than 2 blocks away from your house and stuff like that.
Yes.
So they see from your ID if you're actually not complying with these restrictions. I don't think we'll ever get that in the United States because it's all about independence and stuff like that. So it's a lot of it is guidelines. Please stay at home. So
Yes.
you'll always have people that are breaking the rules, I guess, because there really are no rules. They're just warning signs. So again, New York feels very eerie and calm. I'm actually dying to go to Manhattan and take pictures as someone who does social media, because now New York is completely empty.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'm not doing it. I would not be
Wow.
allowed to do that by my family.
So yeah, I can definitely feel the exceptionalism of the situation right now, and it might be very difficult to be in New York. So we're really thinking of you and everyone living in New York. So
Thank
now
you.
our audience, they are both sales professional, and you have been fantastic over the last few years to help people in the boating industry to develop their social media. So I'm going to ask you a few questions because of the current lockdown, because of the current situation. What would you recommend both sales professional to do when it comes to social media right now?
Well, yachting industry is very particular because not everybody was digitally savvy yet. We have been an industry has been slower to adapt the social media platforms, as Vincent has seen. He has a very successful platform teaching people how to actually promote their messages, selling yachts through Facebook and all these amazing ways. If you haven't started, let's start for that person that doesn't have their own website and still is branded underneath someone else's website. Go to Wix. Go to any platform right now, create an account, watch YouTube's. I can even create one if you need it, and you need to just follow the basics. People need to find you now digitally. We cannot bank anymore, especially yachting industry has been doing this for so long, that it says this is the word of mouth. Yes, but what happens when those people that are a word of mouth cannot reach you anymore because everybody's isolated? So we are banking. Internet usage is up 28%, 28% globally. You have to think this in your business. You have to change the structure of where you invested your time in to invest in networking digitally. Thank God. We have seen Vincent was live today at a virtual boat show that Denison hosted. And you see he's won. Boat International is coming up. Super Yacht Times also did that this week. How the biggest media companies are pushing for this. What does that mean? Doesn't mean you do it. We should already be doing this. What does this also mean? Why didn't we do this before? We are an industry. Vincent lives in Canada. I live in the United States. We traveled all over the world to see each other for a week. We should have been doing these seminars a long time ago. So maybe silver lining, we'll continue doing these.
Yes.
So we can keep nurturing ourselves faster instead of like once a year that we see each other in the Monaco Yacht Show and these events. What do you have to do? Create your account. Start seeing who can you learn from those accounts. Vincent is a person you can learn from. I'm a person you can learn from. Yacht Dame. We can even send you in the description who should it follow per channel. This person kicks ass on YouTube. This one on Facebook. See what they do. See how you can control your message, and then reach out. Anytime you feel stuck, that you're actually now in the trenches and learning how to promote yourself, ask. By the way, we're all at home. We will answer because we're stuck on our computers. This is the best time for you to reach out to that person you never thought would ever answer the phone, because we're all grounded. This is your moment to reach for the stars and call anyone you really wanted to call.
So talking about reaching for the top, you are very good, and you know all the biggest influencer in the boating industry, like David Seal, like the yacht guy, and I've been walking around at the show with you, and you meet them, and they're like friends to you. And how do you connect with those top level people in social media? And what advice can you give to our audience to start connecting to influential people in their entourage, maybe not necessarily in the boating industry worldwide, but maybe in their community, like in their city or in their yacht club? Or what advice can you give them on how to connect with the influential people?
So I'll tell you that I've heard this from CEOs and marketing directors yesterday from, if you ever heard of Dropbox, JP Morgan, and they'll tell you how did they do it. On Twitter, they made a list of the people they want to be in contact. Actually, Vincent, when he knew me, he saw that I was familiar. Why? Because I saw that he was actually interacting with people I wanted to interact. What did I do? I plastered, I liked, I engaged with everything he did, meaning I gave value to him, raising his engagement and numbers. So he would literally, this was digitally the salesperson at the door going like, please pay attention, without asking, but giving. So that's exactly how I met everybody that you actually mentioned. I would go to their websites and see, for example, who's Amos, but who is the person managing the social media? Does they have a public account? Do they want me to give them value? So I would DM, engage, become literally, it doesn't sound like taking advantage, really be their friends. Yes. And they all respond to you. Every time you see a poll on Facebook, LinkedIn, if you interact, you know how many times I've spoken to the CEOs of the biggest shipyards in the world when they have posted one article on LinkedIn and no one bothers to read it. So I would read it and give feedback on the article, not the post promoting the article, not someone saying, please read. I would go and make sure that they would see that I took some kind of learning, and they appreciated this. I've got thank you from many of them saying, oh my God, I didn't know anyone would read it. This is a huge opportunity. So if people aren't doing, you can still be first.
Thank you. No, that's great advice. And I think that gives us motivation. So making a list of the people in our entourage that we feel are influencers and starting giving them value, I think that's great feedback. Now, I have another question for you. And it's more personally because I'm having hard time sometimes doing video and doing live video and doing walkthrough, and people think that I do that easily, but I'm kind of camera shy and I'm really always forcing myself. So what would you recommend about this professional that is not necessarily camera shy, that say, oh, I'm not good on camera, I don't look good on camera, I don't like camera? What would you recommend them to do to break that barrier and make the jump and starting to produce content?
I'll tell you my personal way of doing it is literally I would make it a checklist of the day and make sure I checked it off. And I'll tell you this, I may look comfortable right now in a camera. This is not my first day in front of a camera. I've been doing this now for years. And the first time I did a story would only last 24 hours and I had 0 followers. I pretty much fainted, vomited, the whole thing because someone dared me. A big influencer in poker dared me, Andrea, you have to do this. This is the way. You have to get your face out there. And he harassed me so much that it was like, today's the day. And I did it. So I have tremendous respect for Vincent. I was there at the boat show in the Miami one, and he would go, he didn't know the boat. He would internalize, memorize it, and really internalize what he wanted for you to understand of this boat, and just went ahead and did it. I personally would do like 50 takes, and he's like, no, we gotta go. We gotta keep doing, and really just take action. It sounds very simple, really helps me. I have a list of things I accomplish a day. Day, a minimum, I contact 10 people to make sure that they are okay, to make sure that this is the time to give value back and reassure trust and friendships. So that's part of my list. If I don't check 10 people off on my WhatsApp, I can't go to sleep.
And you're mentioning list, and this is a recurring word in our conversation today. And actually, one thing that happened is I made a list myself also. I made a list when I decided that I wanted to do the video. I made a list of 100. I'm going to do 100 video of boats in the next 6 months, and I forced myself to have that 100 walkthrough video of boats. And I'm like, I'm not going to deviate from that list. And it's kind of like you mentioned, we need to have a list of people in our entourage we want to contact. But I made a list, and I'm like, I'm going to do 100. And I think right now I'm at around 80 or something like this. I did 80 walkthrough video. So I'm going through my list step by step. So thanks for that. Yes?
But sometimes when you do the list of 100, I think you are someone that has tackled so many things. You are a serial entrepreneur. This
Yes.
is quite a goal to have. Break it down. If it's 100 in 12 months, it
Or it
means
can be
that
10. Yes.
I means that break it down. Okay, by February, I need to have 10. And so now you know that by this month, I only have to do 10. I only have to do 20. Break down your goals in daily and weekly so it's easy to
Yes.
digest. If I say I have to lose, I don't know, 20 kilos in 6 months, please, I'm going to be reaching for the ice cream in 2 seconds. That will not
Yes.
happen, but slowly.
Excellent. And you see, I mean, my wife just opened the door behind while we were doing the video. And imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. Sometimes your dog is going to walk by, sometimes your kids are going to walk by, sometimes your spouse is going to walk by. And it's the same if you do a video of a boat. It's not perfect, but you got to post it, you got to use it. And it's a new norm now. It's a new expectation. People working from home, guess what? Everybody has maybe dog or kids or spouse. And
I don't have a studio background here.
Exactly. Don't try to go for the perfection. Just do it. And yeah. So thanks. Those are great advices. Now I'm going to ask you.
If I can say
yes?
exactly what we are saying right now, because we are isolated, forget cinematic, forget perfection.
Yes.
Because right now, even the most famous YouTuber doesn't have the studio lights he usually has or anything. So we are right now bringing down all the gadgets so you don't have to compete to create the next Hollywood movie. So it's even easier to dive in right now because we're producing what we have. This is why we're doing so many live stream, because we're
Yes.
inside. We have to create something.
Yes. Excellent. So now I have a question for you, talking about being inside. What advice can you give both sales pro to keep not becoming crazy, staying inside all the time? And so what I know you are very smart with your blog, the Clever Traveler.
Yes.
Yeah. So you always have amazing tips when it comes to a healthy lifestyle and things like this. So what tips can you give us to keep positive at home?
Thankfully, I've seen, because we've all going through this, so there's tons of content out there about mental health and wellness. Every time I say stay safe, I say stay sane. Just stay sane. Wake up at a normal hour like you would go to work. A lot of people benefit from if putting on makeup, cleaning up yourself, and sitting in front of the computer like you're doing a video call every day. How many of us have run across the apartment because we're getting a video call and we forgot? No, be ready for it. So, and then when it's time for lunch, don't eat in front of the desktop. Actually break for lunch, give yourself an hour. And if possible, and one of the recommendations is move away from that spot. Like if you have picked the sofa to do your work, that's great. But then when you do your lunch, go to the counter of the kitchen. Make sure you designate like a workspace within your apartment. I live in a small apartment in New York, believe me. And I try to make sure to move around for different tasks. And I even do this virtual planking with some people in the team, which is great because I see people on Zoom. And I do it in the same spot every day in the apartment. I know that's my exercise little hallway. So those are the tips. Wake up at the same time, get ready for the day like you want to conquer it, like you would do any other day. Clean yourself up, make yourself feel better. A lot of people, when they are sick, what do they tell them? Clean yourself up so you look better about yourself outside. You will feel better about yourself inside. Sleep. We're not going to be going out at staying and looking at media until like 1 a.m. No, go to bed at a normal time. We have to make this the long run. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
So, it is. Well, yeah. I'm very excited to hear your tips. I want to thank you so much for this conversation today. If you are interested to improve your social media, to put your better game in your social media, you need to contact Andrea. She works for Gary Vaynerchuk. If you don't know him, he's one of the top social media guys in the world right now. He's got millions and millions of followers, and she's in his team. She's been working with him for months and months, so she knows everything when it comes to social media, the best strategies, the best tactics and techniques. So make sure to contact Andrea. Andrea, thank you so much for this conversation today. It was such a pleasure to do this first interview with you. And good luck. I know this is a difficult time for you, difficult time for everyone in New York. So biggest warmest regards from all of you guys in New York, and hang on, stay safe, stay healthy, and thanks so much again for our conversation today. Okay?
Thank you so much. Anything you guys ever need, just DM me, call me, email, whatever you guys need.
Perfect.
Thanks again.
Thanks so much, Andrea.
Bye.
Bye. Excellent. So I hope you enjoyed that conversation we had with Andrea today. She's really, really good when it comes to social media. That's why I wanted you to have a chance and an opportunity to listen to a few of her tips over the last few minutes. Now, I have an opportunity for you. I've been working super hard with my team in the evening, in the weekend, and we're putting together 12 steps, 12 strategies to help you to fight, to help you handle this crisis, handle this situation. So we're going to have a small group of people. We're going to work together and we're going to do calls. And during each call, I'm going to share 2 strategies. We're going to do a check-in. We're going to share our win. We're going to share our challenges. We're going to share our wins, and we're going to help each other. And it's going to be, we're going to do 6 calls together. It's going to be a program that I'm putting together. If you want information, we're going to start next week. If you want information, down below, or PM me or DM me, and I will send you information as soon as we should put that the final things together in the next 24 hours. So I want to thank you so much for watching this first interview. I hope I'm going to do some more. If you have any question, make sure to contact Andrea, make sure to contact myself. We're here for you. We help to help you. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. Stay strong, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.